Kathy Vick, Deeply Awake, Chats 2017, and I guess I will come through, but only briefly. Okay, so I got done with that video I just did about astrology, and I decided to go to the eclipse because I was going to put the picture up and I wanted to look at it for this coming thing. And it's so curious because during the eclipse, during the peak of it, just for me, I'm just reporting for me, it's going to be my Sun, Pluto, Mercury, the Moon, and one other one that's just like, they're all the major players I've been dealing with. And they're all bunched up in that one sign. What's opposite of, Leo? Is it Leo that they're bunched up in? It's just nuts. The North Node. And I hear them say in the back of my head, yes, well, there's always more. So they want to talk about reality creation and discovery and amnesia. Because I think this is a perfect example of this phenomenon and something that's kind of puzzled me. How, if I know everything, if I could have access to everything, come on now, I have access to everything, so do you. I mean, biologically, we all have access to everything if we get, plugged in enough. But we all have access, pretty much, to the Google machine, right? But if I have access to everything, then why don't I know this crap, right? So I see those bunchy, and I think, well, why didn't they tell me that? That's what I said. I thought to myself, oh, that thing about the eclipse, that was very helpful, but why didn't they tell me this? We have more to give you then, we want to talk about reality creation. There's always more. And there's a reason for amnesia. Yes, so let's go. We came in one time, she was driving, and we interrupted programming. It was very, very good the way that it was reported, because it was just like this. And so, yes, she was just driving, and we came in and said, hey, there's a reason why you've got amnesia, It's a good thing, not a bad thing. Want to know why? Ready? Well, if you know what's going to happen, then it changes the outcome. And it decreases the reward and the fun. That's why. Okay, bye-bye. Have fun. We were like that. This is an amplification of this message, okay? Because, yes, there is much that can be discussed, and we are not the group that is into the minutiae. We believe that that's been made abundantly clear. And how can we be when the structure contains within it such things as dyslexia and flipping things? This not only happens with the little B's and D's and with left and right, but with words and thoughts. Yes, it's silly. And keys and many other things. There are many rules around here to keep the place running quite right. It's cute. Okay, so if you have a big brain and you want to know everything right now, well, take one look at the setup. It's a bit, it can feel a little bit like you're being spoon-fed. It's not very trusted and not very original. Some people take this to the farthest degree, and this is one of the things we wish to discuss. Yes, there is a way to think about it, think on it, and begin to believe that this is all a finite experience. Sure. Okay, well, it depends on where you're looking from. And we say that thinking of this as a finite experience is best reserved for those who understand what these words mean. Because only at the very, very, very deepest levels is that kind of reality. This is a venture of consciousness, of free will, of creativity, of value fulfillment, as the Seth would say. And there is much that can be said about the mechanics of what makes one thing light up and another light up, but we have, for your edification, showcased one method of finding out why things light up as they do. Yes, it's as simple as your birth date, your birth time, and the location of your birth. Let the games begin. You understand there are many ogres. The Mayan calendar. Very profound, highly accurate, and cheeky, funny, helpful, and true. It is true in this particular culture. The thought of spending a Sunday afternoon looking at one's own natal chart, well, that's just too self-indulgent. It's not raining, it's hailing. Not just on your head, but on everyone's. Why then waste such valuable time on this? So many go to the Google machine with their loved ones' information so they can obtain peace in relationship. But in the end, even that, perhaps later that night when everyone's asleep, the true study, the reason for the study, can indeed begin. So, if everything was known, done, tasted, understood already, well, perhaps it is. Oh, isn't that nice? We say, at this level of consciousness, it's a road that really is well worn, inappropriately well worn, and fairly sings with frequent use, and it needs to stop. We have said, we have said that the truth is that to dispel or dismiss a method of inquiry, method of what Westerners would call philosophy. This is a science that's quite helpful, and it can give you markers. Perhaps in retrospect you will learn, oh yes, that was going on. Perhaps reading the interpretation, you have a realization that even though all those around you were saying that you want to do this, you did it, and it was correct because it was good for your soul. And you were being true to your soul. And perhaps in one of those aspects of your sun, or your moon, or your Mars, you see written there, the hidden burden on your heart. And there is release. There is a sense of homecoming. There is a sense of purpose in pain, and release. Transformation. So, it's nice to have tips and help us. It's nice to have mentors and friends and gurus. It's nice to have textbooks and courses and online events. It's nice to have the Facebook. And isn't it nice to have the moon and the stars and the sun? Because they are real. They are not figments of a study. They are real. So real, in fact, that in just how many days, gang? Would that be 8? Yes, it would be 8 days. The sun and the moon will explain just how real all of this is. Perhaps this is why we spend some time on the astrology. And you know, there are many different forms. Yes, the Mayan, the Vedic, the Greek. So many. We so look forward to females coming to the fore and working with the males in coming up with a system which honors the females, the goddesses' reality. Further, it is no longer time for goddess to stand alone, you know. This happened once. We said the males are not creating imbalance, they are creating balance. What does that imply? Come on now, what does it imply? Yes, it implies that the females got out of hand too. Ooh, not good, not good. So, yes, there were many civilizations that just went, nope, okay, gotta start over. Because the end product was not in alignment. Is what's going on now in alignment? Well, it's in alignment with something. But with truths that ring. With a song that can be felt in the spine. And sung with the chest. And spoken not. It's time to integrate. Simply a time to integrate and to stop denigrating things that were seen as weak. Okay. Oh, so much power. And absolutely no willingness to do anything but live in peace now. The warrior, finally in repose. It feels good. It feels good. No longer is despair at the ready. No longer. But with such full knowledge of how deft and true the spear is in these hands. Such a good feeling to be released from ascension and descension and ascension and descension and ascension and descension. We do not talk about future plans no more. This is a discussion that each is having with the soul and with much more than that. And so there's no need for our words in this discussion. It is too profound for us to even add anything. We would be a shadow of a comma in that discussion. Yes, we know our place. within certain energies, of course. And certain energies know their place within ours. Alright, so if you have amnesia, so what? You're supposed to. And if something is blocked completely, you can't get at it. Well, you know, there's the weaponized portion of the programming. If you can't have access to something, perhaps you would be in a position where it would be harmful to know. Perhaps not because you are a harmful person, but because of the story and the agreements having been made, the requests having been answered. You think? We say this is a time not just for one woman in Denver, Colorado to have a little talking to, a discussion, a loving with Creator on the eclipse. No, this is for everyone. And so, yes, we stress the astrology simply because it's shorthand, that's all, just shorthand. But also to offer this journey and the words that silently narrated it and now can explain it and assist the others. Well, isn't that pretty? Perhaps you find through this time, through the September, through the virgin birth and into the cradle of the winter solstice, we ask, be gentle with yourselves. Do not be unkind to yourself. If this means telling yourself something that seems impossible, like, I know this will work out. I know. It has to be well between us. Oh, so many of these type of relationships, and they are being lived with the humans actually looking each other in the eyes. Oh, there's so much that is not said, not understood, not risked. So many burdens. Yes, you see 2 lions. Yes, you see many balls and the pretty numbers. Yes, you see a pictograph etched on a crop. But you also see leaders of citizens threatening each other, threatening to murder parts of themselves to prove a point, to murder the other. You are seeing this. You are beginning, just beginning, to have so much exposed. It doesn't matter if they kick and scream, it doesn't matter if they change the law. It doesn't matter. So much to be exposed. And if this is happening on the national stage, have we not always said this is happening in your lives, dear ones? Perhaps you're not paying attention, perhaps it doesn't matter to you, and perhaps the only thing you do is go from point A to point B to point C to point D and get up again and do it again. Well, you know what? If you are doing this, and everywhere you go, you see smiles, and the people seem to be happy to see you, and you find you have good luck, and you just have goodwill, and sometimes you sit and just feeling a little bit overwhelmed with how good it is, and yet it's so simple, and yet it's so good. Disregard all of this because it just doesn't apply to you. You figured it out without doing the coursework, okay? Okay. You completed the course well in front of everyone while growing in a garden of delight, in the garden of the senses, the first path. We've talked about this. And now those like this one, highly entangled. And here for an archetype there. Architect, yes. Archetype, yes. It just will take time. But clearly, a little bit of a goddess, a little bit of a strange one. Yes, a Kali, yes, sure. And now she understands, okay, well, such is life. Highly unconventional. Yes, indeed. Love those unconventional ones, too. That's the idea. And, the conventional ones who are unconventional. It's funny what this personality pulls out of people. It's funny what this one is keyed to do. And we say, do you think she's the only one? This is why we ask you to look at your charts. Perhaps you have a kite. Perhaps you have a yard. Perhaps the moon and stars are speaking to you in other ways. We ask you to look. Do yourself that favor before the eclipse. Take a glimpse at your power, your humor, your age, your wisdom, your intent, your signature. This one, yes, Inanna's journey is her journey, dear ones. But having the Mercury conjoined, why not do it with boy and girl, huh? Why not do Hades too? Let us stand as one entity, melded. Let us stand as one entity at peace. Let us stand as one entity on purpose, in love, balanced, relaxed, and ready. And at the service of all, different paradigm, no longer service to self and service to other, with that cat and mouse nonsense. No. It is a word that has not been coined yet. when service to God, Creator, Source, when you know that this is within you and is you. A strange sense of responsibility and joy commences. We are very gratified to be able to share this journey, because it was a very big worry that April afternoon when she saw her eyes do that funny thing they'd only done once before, and suddenly she did not know exactly at all what anything was, what she was, if she was. Only knowing that she was. That moment is conferred to you now by her very DNA, embodied now, understood now, accepted. And celebrated now. No longer feared. Permission granted. And so now, yes, personality structure, oh my, it's all about the love and the pleasure and balance and respect and moving the story along and then deciding about the end and all that stuff. All right, la la la, enjoy. Any more worries? It's kind of easy, huh? Okay, do you think this is worth the price of admission? We think so. So yes, that April day. Oh, I do believe this is Ascension. I think I should turn. And this was just a shock. Oh, well, look at the machine is up. I should just do this. Oh, what a cheeky thing indeed. Oh my, we've always said lightning in a bottle, but what was that? What was that? That was a big meteor storm in a bottle, as has been every day since, even though there's been lots of arguing. Okay, we are done. We have so much fun when we come, and we know that we are very well welcomed, and we are very pleased about that. So it is about time, isn't it? All right, but we have things to do now. We've got many things to accomplish, and we must get at them. So, and we say balance, balance, balance. It is time to remember that you're a goddess, but to pinch yourself, dear, and get to work. All right, namaste.